That is hygge, right?
Looks like a shag carpet.
Welcome back to my channel. Continuing with the Searching for Happiness in the Nordic vlog series, we depart from Aarhus via a 3-hour train ride to Copenhagen, the capital of Denmark and Hygge. Copenhagen is a city where the beauty of simplicity, comfort, and community come together in a concept the Danish call hygge. But hygge is more than just a cozy movement. It ties deeply into happiness and even into something larger, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I hope in watching this vlog, it'll encourage you to visit Copenhagen and seek out hygge. At its core, hygge is about crafting moments of warmth, comfort, and togetherness, but it goes beyond just feeling cozy. It's a practice of mindfulness, appreciating the present, and creating environments that foster genuine connection. These elements directly tie into what we need for happiness. And we made it to Copenhagen via train from Aarhus. What a difference 3 hours make, as we had departed from the quiet Aarhus to bustling Copenhagen. We're definitely in Copenhagen now. Look at all of these bikes that are parked outside of the train station. And more bikes. They say to truly experience hygge, it has to be 1, wintertime, or 2, you need to experience hygge in a real Danish person's home. Now, we had came to Denmark in the summertime and we were just tourists, but you'd think it'd be difficult for us to experience hygge. However, we were fortunate to be invited to the home of a close friend of a family member for breakfast, and once we saw hygge up close and personal, it was easy to spot it all around us. Good food shared over conversation fulfills our need for connection. It's these moments that tie in with the higher levels of Maslow's hierarchy, love and belonging. In Denmark, it's less about extravagant meals and more about meaningful experiences around the table. Here, I truly felt the power of hygge in a personal space. It's not just about comfort, but about creating an environment where everyone feels at ease and connected. At the heart of hygge is finding joy in the small things. Danish pastries, with their flaky layers, buttery richness, and sweet fillings, offer simple indulgence that makes any moment feel special. Whether it's a freshly baked knæsnæl cinnamon roll or a classic wienerbrød Danish pastry, the experience of savoring each bite is a celebration of life's everyday pleasures. Now that we understand the vibe of hygge and Danish pastries, let's see some more examples of hygge in Copenhagen that will inspire your next adventure to happiness. Our friends took us to another bakery, which there are plenty of them all over Copenhagen. Too bad that I was already full from the delectable pastries earlier. Yet, I spotted a basket of blankets in the corner and felt a sense of hygge come over me. Though it's a popular tourist spot, Nyhavn's colorful harbor and historic ships provide a peaceful setting for a quiet stroll or an outdoor meal at one of the restaurants. Hygge here means finding a corner by the water, wrapped in a blanket, enjoying good food and company. This is also where you want to get that iconic shot of Copenhagen. Maybe print out that photo and hang it in your living room as a reminder of hygge and happiness. It's also the spot where you catch one of the popular canal tours. Our family friends had arranged a private canal tour that was aptly named Hygge. Rather than get in one of the big canal boats, we had a small one where we could actually talk to the captain and revel in his stories. We almost missed the boat there, but we got on in time. Being close to water is inherently soothing, and in Denmark, water has a deep cultural connection to everyday life. A canal tour allows you to experience the natural beauty of Copenhagen from a unique perspective, with reflections of the city in the water, birds flying overhead, and fresh air, all of which contribute to a sense of calm and well-being. With it being a sunny, warm summer day, we saw plenty of sunbathers and locals sitting outside. That over there is where they burn the trash. Apparently, it is so efficient that they have to import trash to keep it running. The Danish royal family's yacht, compared to the British royal family's yacht, the Britannica, that is currently docked in Edinburgh, Scotland, this one here feels more hygge. There's the Royal Opera House. I love the sleekness of the design. Hygge is about slowing down and savoring the moment. A canal tour offers just that. A peaceful, leisurely journey through the heart of the city, allowing you to relax and take in the sights without any rush. The gentle movement of the boat and the calming sound of the water create a serene atmosphere, perfect for unwinding. Copenhagen's canals offer stunning views of landmarks, just like the spires of this church. Experiencing these sights from the water, especially at sunset or during golden hour, adds a magical quality to the moment, filling you with a sense of awe and appreciation. A very Hygge feeling. Whether you join a big tour boat or a private one, it's definitely something to put on your list of things to do in Copenhagen. Kastellet, a star-shaped fortress, is a peaceful spot for a leisurely walk along its historic walls and green spaces. The sense of quiet combined with nature and history makes it a great place to slow down and soak in the Hygge vibes, especially in the early morning or late afternoon. It used to protect Copenhagen from invaders, but what is it guarding against now? I guess unhappiness and negativity. Are you a fan of fairy tales? Then you need to visit the Little Mermaid statue. I feel like it's one of those things that they say if you visit to Copenhagen, you must do. I'm doing this more for a very good friend. She really wanted a picture of this statue because it's like her favorite fairy tale. So yeah, I'm doing a huge favor here. It felt like one of those memes spoofing Instagram versus reality because all of those people crowded around to take pictures and videos of the statue. You have to come in with the right expectation that the statue in real life is underwhelming compared to what we have seen published. However, if you come in with the correct mindset, you will actually appreciate the statue and the crowds. In a way, the crowds create a sense of connection and belonging because we all shared the same interests. We had covered Danish pastries, and now here's another unique Danish cuisine, the Smørrebrød, which is their traditional open-faced sandwiches. We had made reservations at the Café Øl-Halle 1892, which is located at the Workers' Museum. I'm so excited. This is one of the oldest restaurants here in Copenhagen, and we're going to have a traditional open-faced sandwich. You do have to make reservations here, and so I already booked reservations a week ago. Smørrebrød is a traditional Danish dish that has been passed down through generations, making it a comforting and familiar part of Danish culture. This restaurant was an all-you-can-eat buffet in 2 hours. Each slice of rye bread is topped with carefully chosen high-quality ingredients like herring, salmon, eggs, or roast beef. Though it seems simple, the care and attention put into prepping and presenting Smørrebrød creates a meal that's both nourishing and aesthetically pleasing. They also had a buffet of hot dishes that looked just as intricate and delightful as a Smørrebrød. I'm just going to start randomly grabbing plates. In keeping with the Hygge mindset, Smørrebrød is typically made with fresh seasonal ingredients like pickled herring or radishes in the summer, like at the time of this filming. When I made reservations, I had requested the Danish flag to be put on our table. When the waiter brought out the Danish flag, instantly we felt like we were having a more festive lunch. I sort of lost count with how many sandwiches I ate, but I think I might have ate 12 plates. They had a cheese plate at the end. Our waiter brought out this refreshing berry pudding dessert with whipped cream. Of course, it was summertime, so berries were in season. The simplicity of this dessert made me feel just as happy as eating one that was more intricate. I recommend checking out Café and Øl-Halle 1892 on your trip and make sure to bring a healthy appetite. I'm stuffed. I don't know how many dishes I ate. I think 10 or 12. And that dessert was a nice touch. As I mentioned, the restaurant is part of the Workers' Museum, so we visited after our big lunch. The Workers' Museum highlights the strength of community and solidarity among Denmark's working class. The stories of the workers coming together to improve their lives, fight for fair wages, and build supportive communities reflect the core Hygge values of connection and shared purpose. Visitors can feel this sense of community while learning about Denmark's history. This was originally a house built in 1879 for association, celebrations, assemblies for the workers by the workers. We were previously in the workers' balcony. Now we're here in the attic where meetings took place to discuss workers' rights and better working conditions. And even during the labor movement, they still had time for Hygge. They had published a workers' and pro-union newspaper called The Social Democrat. You can see that the newspaper circulation increased throughout the years. Here is the banquet hall. The warm glow of the overhead lights gives off a sense of Hygge. I appreciated the wood panels on the walls depicting all sorts of craftspeople that were part of the labor movement. It reminded me of Den Gambleby in Aarhus, which you can catch that vlog. These craftspeople were the backbone of society. Will you look at that? The people who make the Smørrebrød are part of a trade union because making those traditional open-faced sandwiches is a craft. My stomach wholeheartedly agrees. One of the advantages of visiting Copenhagen in the summertime is that you can go for a walk in the late evening and look for a restaurant for a cozy dinner. I couldn't help but be more aware of the cushions and blankets that give off a sense of hygge. You don't see them in the US. I'm not sure if I've ever described a seafood restaurant as hygge, but here we are at Hooked with the seat cushions and candles. I still don't know what this soda is exactly, but it seems to be a Danish thing, and I like it. Faxkondi tastes like a Sprite or 7-Up, and I had this thing while in Denmark of ordering it every time I saw it. It had displaced my love of Diet Cokes. Someone sent me a box of it to the US. We ordered the fried prawns, mac and cheese croquette, and lobster roll. Definitely different from the Smørrebrød, but we still got a cozy vibe from the seafood dinner. See? Once you understand hygge, you can spot it anywhere in Copenhagen. We had spotted this black diamond-looking building during the Hygge Canal Tour, and I knew we needed to visit in person. This ultra-cool modern building is actually the Danish Royal Library. It's not any average library. Certainly not stuffy, and it doesn't smell like it's going to have musty books. I don't know how many libraries start off with a cafe on the first floor, but I'm sure you can't take food up into like the actual library. This is just a cafe. This is an interesting escalator. There's no stairs. It's just, I don't know what to call it exactly, but it seems friendly enough where you can put like a stroller. See, completely flat. It's just going up and down. The Royal Library's mix of modern architecture and tranquil reading spaces create a blend of intellectual and emotional hygge. Here we are on the 6th floor, called the Grand View. They just knew that this place, I mean, with this type of architecture, that it's going to be so stunning that tourists are going to want to take pictures and videos of it. I saw down there that there was a general reading room that they didn't allow people to use cameras, but don't worry, I'm not there, or we didn't go in there. But when you build a library as stunning as this, you gotta expect people are gonna wanna take photos and videos of it. It's just a reminder again that this is still a library, so some areas where it's the reading room or some of the reading rooms here, they don't allow visitors in unless you actually plan on doing reading and research. Otherwise, could you imagine the chaos of everybody trying to go in to film for YouTube and Instagram and TikTok? At least this alcove area is a little hygge. It does feel cozy and it's got cushions, so it feels nice and comfortable here for you to take a rest, enjoy a book, take a nap. The quiet atmosphere and grand views of the harbor encourage relaxation, making it a perfect place to experience hygge while expanding your mind. As for the cafe on the first floor, if books and cozy reading areas weren't enough, the pastries were a nod to hygge. This is the only library I've been to that serves coffee and pastries. What better way to enjoy a book than over a cup of coffee or a plate of sweets? So much for no eating at the library like I'm used to in the US. I love how we went to the library and instead of getting books, we got coffee and cake. This is a traditional Danish cake, and it has like a meringue topping. Ta-da! So that's what it looks like. So it's a meringue topping, and then there's raspberry filling, and then a dense cake. Visiting the Little Mermaid statue was a bit anticlimactic, so the best way to honor Hans Christian Andersen is to actually visit the cemetery that he's buried in. It's the Assistens Cemetary. And so we're going to be looking for Hans Christian Andersen and Søren Kierkegaard, who was a Danish philosopher. Oh, that's nice. They listed some notable people here so we don't go walking all over the cemetery looking for their gravestone. Hey, at least they made this easy. There's a sign showing where Hans Christian Andersen is buried. Assistens Cemetary provides a calm, serene environment in the midst of Copenhagen's bustling streets. Walking through the leafy paths or sitting by a gravestone under the shade of old trees invites a moment of quiet reflection, giving visitors a chance to slow down and find peace. The calm and stillness offer a feeling of contentment, and that is quintessentially Hygge. We found the gravestone for Søren Kierkegaard. Kierkegaard is often considered one of the fathers of existentialism, which focuses on individual choice, finding one's true self, and the importance of personal experience and responsibility. In Denmark, storytelling is an integral part of Hygge, and Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales have been passed down through generations, often read aloud in cozy settings. His fairy tales evoke feelings of comfort, imagination, and connection, which are at the heart of Hygge. The Assistens Cemetary may seem like an unexpected place to experience Hygge, but its serene environment, connection to nature, and use as a shared public space make it a unique embodiment of the Danish concept. Normally, I find cemeteries to be spooky, but this is the first one where I felt at peace. There is something about seeing that green can of Faxkondi that brings me a sense of Hygge as much as a cup of coffee. Soft serve ice cream, or soft ice as it's often called in Denmark, is a delightful example of Hygge because it blends the joy of simple pleasures, nostalgic comfort, and shared experiences. Whether you're enjoying a classic vanilla cone or adding a sprinkle of toppings, it's a sweet reminder that sometimes the simplest things in life bring the most joy. Hygge is about embracing moments of comfort and contentment, and soft serve ice cream offers exactly that with its smooth, creamy texture and a simple topping of sprinkles, because nothing screams happiness like sprinkles. Here in Copenhagen, from the peaceful canal tours to modern libraries with cafes and the iconic sites, Hygge helps create a society where people feel safe, loved, and truly happy. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Copenhagen and Hygge. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more adventures.